a rental property, and I forgot I had to drive up there. So it completely slipped my mind. So that's
All
me.
good, brother.
On me.
All good.
My bad.
No,
Ooh,
no, no, no. It's all good.
eviction.
Nah. Well, I'm
Okay.
actually trying to sell it. So I was meeting with the
Okay.
contractor and completely
I was just
forgot.
wondering what your eviction face looks like. I
Oh,
mean,
I yeah, I've had to do that before, so it's unfortunate.
Rashad was out doing grown ass man stuff.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. On Thursdays at 8:40 a.m., we are joined by Rashad Beard, the host of the Panther Nation podcast. But you will notice if you take a look at the calendar, it is not Thursday, it is Friday. Yesterday, Rashad had business to take care of. He took care of the business, and then he said, I got you, dog. And he showed up today to talk a little Carolina Panther football. What's up, fella?
What's going on, man? Again, my apologies to the audience for yesterday. For those that were expecting me, but we're here though. We're here.
We got it.
what do you mean for those who are expecting? It's appointment radio. You can't wait for every Thursday at that time.
Rashad Beard, the host of the Panther Nation podcast, which you can find on X at Panther Nation PC. More importantly, find him on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed. Get your alerts turned on because the boys go live all the time. Fella, let's just dive right in. Schedule is out. Win total for the Panthers set at 6.5. I had a bet on the over 6.5 before the schedule dropped. I feel pretty good about it after it dropped. Don't love having 2 games on the road to start the season. I believe 3rd season in a row that week 1 is on the road, and you got to go down to Jacksonville, a team that I said yesterday, very similar to Carolina, new head coach, quarterback trying to prove himself, biggest weapon in the game in Travis Hunter, or at least, biggest weapon in the draft in Travis Hunter coming out. That's a heck of a start. You got a divisional game in round 3, but you do not play another divisional game until week 10. Rashad Beard, I looked at the schedule and I thought there's 7 wins in there.
Yeah, definitely. We did our schedule prediction, Dave and I, and around this time you get a little, you get a little happy. And so we got excited and I saw, just off of first glance, I saw about 10 wins. And again, kind of optimistic, I think. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Probably
Kinda.
a little optimistic, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But 6 wins, I think, is 6.5 is more than attainable. And I see it. So I'm with it. I'm with it.
We broke this thing down. And again, you start with Jacksonville, then you're at Arizona. My takeaway was offenses usually take a week or 2 to kind of hit their stride, full speed, full competition, etc. And you're up against 2 teams that both feel like they're trending upwards, but are also probably both a year or 2 behind where Carolina is. These 2 games say 2 things to me. Number 1, go out there and establish that on that list of upward trajectory teams, you're at the top of it. And number 2, real good spot for the defense to show that we are healthy, we are improved, and we are back. These 2 games are tone setters. I've already said if the team goes 2-0 through the opening 2, I think they win the division. I mean that right out of the gate. If they go 1-1, going to defend on the performance. If they go 0-2, you and I are going to have a real weird conversation on that week 3 Thursday.
Yeah, starting 0-2 is not ideal because I don't want to jump too far ahead because I see we're kind of walking through it. But with the way the middle of that schedule looks, I don't think you can afford to start 0-2 at all, especially when you got Atlanta. That's the first home game. That's a tough matchup. I think we have beaten Atlanta the last couple of years at home, but I definitely think this needs to. Actually, we didn't. They beat us last year at home. We beat them on the road.
Right.
But I do think that it's important. You got Jacksonville, Cardinals. I think there's 2 winnable games, dogfights probably, but they're winnable games. You can't be 0-2 going into that Atlanta game. Atlanta's tough. But I think we can win that game as well. But you want to start strong because the Patriots week 4 and then Miami, it gets progressively tougher. So you got to start strong for sure.
Let's take a look down the schedule. You got, as we mentioned, the week 3 game, first divisional game. And on top of that, I think at that point, because Atlanta opens up, and I'm trying to get this done off the top of my head. Atlanta opens with a divisional game in Tampa and then the Vikings. There is a very good chance that the Atlanta Falcons come into that game 0-2. There's a good chance Carolina could be 1-1, possibly 2-0. Not just do you have a chance to grow something, but Atlanta's the odds-on favorite in Vegas to win this division. You got a chance to put that team as far down as a 3-game deficit before we even get to the point where the offenses are supposed to be at their best. Again, to me, I'm not saying this is where the season is dictated, because it may get the Panthers may get better as the season goes on, but I do think you better come out guns blazing in weeks 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, very, very important. And I think we have to start where we left off last season, right? We ended strong. We got to start strong now. You can't afford to get off to a slow start. We've seen a lot of slow starts over the past couple of years. Hopefully that changes with Canales. Yeah, you can't get in the hole, especially when you got Buffalo, Green Bay, and those guys coming up. That is a tough stretch. You got to start strong. And I think I had us, when we did the schedule walkthrough, I had us riddling off about 4 or 5 losses kind of in a row because of that schedule. It's tough. It's tough in the middle. So we got to get it. We got to get it going, and cannot afford to get off to a slow start for sure.
After that Falcons game, you're at New England, then you've got Miami. I don't want to overlook either one of these two teams, because Drake May was perhaps, I know everybody wants to say Bo Nix and sure, but he had Sean Payton, he had some weapons. Drake May didn't have a damn thing in New England last year and still had a very impressive rookie year. I wouldn't overlook them with Mike Vrabel. I don't honestly know what to make of the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel was like, he was the hottest thing in head coaching 2 years ago. Last year, that team kind of hit the ledge. Now they got the issue with Tyreek Hill, whether he's going to end up being a Dolphin or not. That little 2-game stretch right there at the Patriots, back home for Miami, before you go Cowboys, Jets, Bills, Packers, Saints. That's a potential letdown spot a little bit, I think, for Carolina, and that's a spot I would issue some caution about.
Yeah, a little bit of a trap. Yeah, like you said, Vrabel and the Patriots, I think that could be a tough matchup. Could be a little bit of a trap game, especially if we do start strong, like we mentioned, hope we do earlier. With Jacksonville and the Cardinals, if we start strong, you could get a little bit of a letdown going to the Patriots. Hopefully that doesn't occur. Miami, I'm with you, a little bit of an enigma. We don't know what we're going to get out of Miami. We know what they're capable of, but a lot of turmoil going on down in Miami. So I don't know what we're going to get out of that. We can't afford to start slow. You got to win. If I'm looking at these 5 games, at worst I see us 3-2. You know what I mean? So I definitely think we got to get it going in 2 winnable games. The first 5 games are all winnable, strong matchups for sure.
Don't disagree. Then we get to the meat and potatoes. The first 2-3 games, I think, dictate if you are in or out of the race for the NFC South. These next 5 games: home against Dallas, at New York, home against Buffalo, at Green Bay, home against New Orleans. Those 5 games, to me, Rashad Beard, dictate the season. If you go 4-1, 3-2, I think you feel pretty good about where you're at. That's a strong list of 5 teams, with the exception of the Saints at the end, who are going to be ass. We'll talk about that more during the offseason. Outside of that, the Bills are good. The Jets with Justin Fields, we got no idea. A lot of people are riding high on that team with a quarterback who they believe can be a guy. The Cowboys, they add Pickens. That's an interesting pickup. The Packers, tough game already at Lambeau. A lot of folks think they're up. If this team can go 3-2, 4-1 through that stretch, I think you feel real good about the season. If you go 2-3, 1-4, 0-5 through that stretch, that's when I think are we where we thought we were?
Yeah, that's a tough stretch, man. Dallas is always tough. I think they beat us at home the past 3 games. It's unfortunate, but they're going to be tough. Even with the new coach, I still anticipate them being a little difficult of a matchup. The Jets, again, I'm with you. Don't know what we're going to get with the Jets. Justin Fields going up there. Still a winnable game, but I think they can be tough. Then you got the Bills. I don't know if we have an answer for Josh Allen and company. Hopefully we do. If we can make it competitive, hopefully we catch them slipping. It is a home game, so I think maybe we can do some damage there. Then you got Green Bay, and going up there, it's always been tough for us. Even though it's early November, it's still not terribly cold, but Green Bay is tough. That's a tough team. So this is the part of the schedule where you're like, man, you're really going to find out, like you said, what this team is all about. And if we can walk away with a couple of victories here, and I'm okay with losing a couple. I'm okay with losing to the Bills. I'm okay with losing to the Packers. I'm not okay losing to the Saints. Okay, I'm not okay with that, especially in the state that they're in. We've got to get that dub. We got to get that dub. That's the one that I need to happen, right? So, and I'm pretty sure you would agree that that's one of the easiest games on the schedule.
I hope you enjoyed that little chuckle there, Rashad Beard. I hope you're feeling good about yourself because you're kicking a man while he's down, and I don't appreciate it.
No, I feel great. I feel great about it, man. I feel really, really good. So, but yeah, no, all jokes aside, I think the Saints are they got some struggles. Maybe the quarterback you all just drafted is going to be solid, and maybe you got surprised some people, but I do anticipate being able to beat the Saints. But yeah, that's a tough stretch for sure. Tough stretch.
Spencer Rattler still on that roster. Look out, future Hall of Famer, baby. Look out. Rat Daddy time.
Told you about those used cars, though, didn't we?
Telling the world, Rat Daddy time. You did. I mean, listen, I need to make it clear to you and everybody that's checking in from the Panther Nation Army. The Derek Carr as a Hall of Famer thing was a joke. I assumed that came across the microphone, but I guess not.
No, it didn't. We all thought that you really meant that. We still do. I think you just backtrack and go, that was a joke.
Yep. You got that Saints game. You follow it up on the road at Atlanta, and then I think one game everybody's got got circled in red. Rashad Beard, Monday Night Football at the 49ers. Matchup, if he's healthy, with former running back Christian McCaffrey in that spot. Look, this game is interesting to me because at that point of the season, after that stretch with those 5 we talked about, plus on the road at Atlanta, if Carolina's got vibes coming out of that, dude, I don't think with the loss of Debo, I don't think the 49ers are good this year. Like, I think that's a team that's going to take a tank down. I am not a Brock Purdy believer. I know they still got weapons in Kittle, whatever. I'm not a Brock Purdy guy. I think that team's I think that's a winnable Monday Night Football game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the 49ers are on a little bit of a downswing here. But I like that shot you took at CMC, though, if he's healthy. That's something I would have did. But that was good. That was a good one.
Certified hater mode.
A certified hater mode for sure. That's something I would have did. But, I don't wish injuries upon anybody for sure. But, got to watch his health. He's been banged up. But anyway, yeah, that's a great game for us. Going out to the West Coast, Bryce Young's going back home to Cali. And I think that is it could be his time to shine. I think it's certainly a winnable game. I'm with you. I don't think the 49ers are what they used to be. You know what I mean? So I think they're on the downswing, and I think it's certainly a winnable game. Now, it's a little bit of that West Coast trip is going to be tough. You know what I mean? Because you got the Rams right after that. So we're going to have to – that's a tough stretch. If you include the Falcons game and the 49ers game and that Rams game, that's another tough set of matchups. So I'm excited for it. Certainly winnable, though. Certainly winnable.
First primetime game for Carolina in the last couple of seasons, and one that obviously everybody's going to be paying attention to. You mentioned the Rams coming to the crib the week after that to round out November, and then a 4-game stretch to end it that includes 3 divisional games, the Bucs twice in the last 3 weeks of the season. You're at New Orleans on the 14th, back home on the 21st against Tampa, home for Seattle, on the road at Tampa Bay. And listen, by that point, we'll know if that division's in contention or not. We'll know if you're in a spot or not. A lot of people think Tampa Bay is the favorite to win the division. Vegas thinks Atlanta's the favorite to win the division right now. I just got a feeling it's a 3-horse race coming down to the finish line for who wins this division, and that makes 2 games in 3 weeks against Tampa that much more important. At that point, it's just going to be a matter of, can you gut it out? If you are in the mix, can you dig down deep and find that finish?
Yeah, that is a great point. It's almost like the NFL is trying to set something up here. And it's going to be tough. We're coming off that bye week. It's a late bye, so we're probably going to be a little banged up trying to get healthy. And I think it's a good time, especially if, typically you don't like to see late byes, but if we're really in the thick of things, I think it's the perfect time to kind of set yourself back up, hit the reset button, and kind of close strong with those 4 final games. Having Tampa Bay twice in 3 weeks is tough. That's going to be very, very tough. That Bucks team is going to be good. I would like to have caught the Bucks a little earlier in the season, kind of catch them slipping a little bit. But, it's going to be tough. That's going to be 2 tough games. And not to mention Seattle sandwiched in between those. That Seattle's a tough matchup too. So this is going to be tough. We're going to find out, like you said, we're going to know what we are by then, right? By the end of the season, we're going to know whether we're contenders or not. And it's going to be a barn burner. I think we can certainly compete with Tampa. We played them tough. We usually play them tough. And I'm excited. I like the NFL kind of the way it scheduled it, and it's almost like they're trying to tell us that we're capable of doing this thing and potentially fighting for the division.
5th easiest schedule, tied for 5th easiest schedule in the NFL is determined by
the Saints are up there twice. That's all.
Bro, why you got to be this way? I try to get my guy in here, talk some Panthers, give my man a little bit of a platform. Not that his platform's not bigger, but give the man a platform. And all he's got to do is come in here and kick me in the nads about my football team. What are we doing?
I'm just the truth.
No, I know. It doesn't make it less. All right, whatever. No, knock it off. Nobody asked you. Here's the thing about Tampa, and this is why that Week 3 game against Atlanta feels that much more important to me. You've got a Tampa Bay Buccaneer team that lost its offensive coordinator, has lost some talent, drafted well enough, I think, has obviously the same wide receiver core, but another year of tread off the tires there. I don't think Tampa is the team Tampa's been the last couple of years, which means to me the 2 most important games on the schedule, and they both fall in interesting spots, are those 2 games against Atlanta. To me, a sweep against Atlanta would give you a big leg up. You have to split with Atlanta, because if you do not, I think when you get to these 2 games against Tampa, you're just going to be scoreboard watching the Falcons at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Splitting with Atlanta is critical. That's why that Week 3 game is so important. It's almost like a must win if you look at the entire season totality. That Week 3 game is critical. And it's important that we split with them. They're going to be looking for a little bit of revenge. So, I completely agree with that. Tampa, I still think Tampa's going to be tough. Tampa's very solid. So, again, I like it. Schedule's pretty good. I'm cool with it. Hopefully we close strong.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, ordinarily joins us on Thursday at 8:40, made the exception and came on board today. Brother, appreciate you coming by as always, and holler at me next year when Spencer Rattler's in the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Well, now we're never going to hear from him. Why would you do that?
I'll never be back on the show, man.
Rashad Beard, check him out on X at Panther Nation PC. More importantly, make sure you are subscribed to the Panther Nation podcast on YouTube. Big dog, appreciate you, fella.
All right, sounds good, man. Appreciate you guys.
Talk to you next week. Rashad Beard swinging by, talking a little Carolina Panther football with us here on the show. To Carl, who said, and I quote, "This guy's annoying."
He was talking about me. It was,
hey,
I had just spoken up, and I was annoyed. You are just amazing. He was talking about me.
I know what he meant, and I'm just saying, Rashad's been willing to pull up on this show for about 3 years running now, so we must be doing something right. I know what's going to be done right. This Sports Flash.
I don't like that kind of pressure. Aiden Kanak, Joe Allen, and Lucas Malstadt combined for a no-hitter as Clemson knocked off Pittsburgh in game number 1 off a 3-game series, 6-1. Cam Canarella extended his hit streak to 13.